surprised by his own emotions. But with you, for some reason, I am. Maybe you're special. Maybe I am. Jen smiled, leaning into him. Hey, should I tell Stacy she has to find somewhere else to stay? Yeah. Adam nodded. That might be a problem. I totally agree with what you said up there. Leprosy is disgusting. Wait, I mean jealousy is healthy. Or something. Chapter 33. The Spontaneous Art of Failure. Russell was currently in the middle of a public art project in the hotel lobby. He was wearing the child's large spandex wrestling shirt they had given him, standing perfectly still next to a luggage rack. On a conformist overcoat, Adam. Russell shouted as Adam and Jen walked by. Faye says, I'm expressing the weight of the corporate soul. You're expressing the fact that you shouldn't wear spandex after age 12. Russell, Adam said. Don't listen to him. Russell, Faye called out from the elevator. Your aura is glowing. You are the art. I am the art. Russell cheered, though his face was starting to turn a light shade of blue from the tightness of the shirt. All I know is, Russell whispered to himself as Faye walked away. If it wasn't for literacy, or leprosy, or whatever that gala was for, I would have never met you, and I would have never known how much I love spandex. He stayed there for another 20 minutes, until the hotel security guard asked him to move or be deaccessioned. Chapter 34. The Final Diner Rule. The group reconvened at the diner at 2 a.m. Jeff was still smelling faintly of spicy mustard. Adam was still glowing from his first experience with jealousy. And Russell was still wearing the spandex under his tuxedo jacket. So, Jeff said, looking at the bill, what did we learn this week? We learned that I'm special. Jen said, we learned that I'm structurally significant. Jeff added, and we learned that leprosy brings people together. Russell chimed in. Audrey looked at all of them and sighed. No, we learned that the rules don't matter, because no matter how many hot dogs Jeff eats, or how many Navajo outfits Adam's mom brings, we're still going to be sitting in this booth next Saturday. To the rules, Adam said, raising a French fry. To the lack of them, Jeff corrected, finally reaching over and stealing the fry. Outside, the city that never sleeps continued its chaotic dance. The satellites hummed, the TV signal remained steady, and in the heart of Manhattan, 5 friends continued to play the only game that truly had no winner, and they loved every second of it. Chapter 35. The Aftermath of the Optimal. The morning after the bar mitzvah was not kind to Jeff Bingham. His structural significance was currently localized entirely in his digestive tract, which was loudly protesting the sudden influx of 7 processed meat products. He lay on the sofa, a damp cloth draped over his forehead, staring at the ceiling as if it held the secrets to eternal life or at least an antacid. I can feel them, Audrey, Jeff moaned. The hot dogs, they've formed a union. They're striking. They want better working conditions in my stomach. Audrey walked past him, carrying a laundry basket, her expression one of amused detachment. You were in awe of your own willpower. Remember, that was the quote of the century. You really showed those cocktail Franks who's boss. I was a god for 5 minutes, a god with a toothpick. But then the hubris set in. Hubris tastes a lot like cheap mustard. Well, the insurance guy called, Audrey said, setting the basket down. You officially passed. You're rated as optimal male, large frame. You should be proud. You're basically a high-performance vehicle with a really bad fuel filter. Optimal, Jeff repeated, the word tasting bitter. I don't feel optimal. I feel like a beanbag chair that's been left out in the rain. He reached for the remote, but his hand trembled. Turn it on, Audrey. I need the soothing sounds of people yelling at each other about politics to distract me from the revolution happening inside me. Chapter 36, The Librarian's Gambit. Russell Dunbar, meanwhile, was facing a crisis of a different sort. His spandex-fueled epiphany had led him to the one place he had spent his entire life avoiding, the New York Public Library. He had a date with Clarissa, the literacy advocate, and he was determined to prove that his leprosy speech was just a misunderstood metaphor for his deep commitment to reading. I'm here for the knowledge, Russell whispered to the librarian at the front desk, adjusted his tie. Where do you keep the books with the really big words? The ones that make you look like a professor who's lost his tenure but kept his dignity. The librarian looked him up and down. Are you looking for a specific subject, sir? Subject? Yes. Literacy. I want to read about reading. I want to be so literate that it's actually a little intimidating. When Clarissa arrived, she found Russell sitting in a mahogany-paneled corner, holding a leather-bound volume upside down. Russell, are you reading The Wealth of Nations? She asked, skeptical. Reading it? I'm absorbing it. Clarissa, I feel the economy pulsing through my fingertips. Did you know that markets are like people? They need love, attention, and occasional government intervention when they get too loud. Clarissa sat down across from him. I thought you were a leper, Russell. Recovering, Russell chirped. The reading helps. It regenerates the cells. Every page is like a bandage for the soul. Now, tell me, what's your favorite chapter? I'm partial to the index. It's so organized. By the end of the hour, Russell had successfully convinced her that he was a tortured intellectual, though he had also accidentally checked out a book on 18th century weaving techniques that he had no intention of ever opening. Chapter 37, The Cabin in the Woods. Adam and Jennifer had decided to take Faye's advice and connect with the earth before the wedding. This involved renting a cabin in the Catskills that looked less like a romantic retreat and more like the opening scene of a horror movie. It's rustic, Jen said, standing on the porch and eyeing a suspicious-looking stain on the wood. Rustic is another word for this place hasn't been cleaned since the Nixon administration. It's perfect, Jen. No distractions. Just us and the logs," Adam shouted, dropping their bags on the floor. "I'm going to go gather wood. I saw a survival show once where a guy built a house out of twigs.